Okay, I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting to order for Tuesday, December 3rd, 2024. Roll call, please.
President Kradowski,
Here.
Trustee Paul,
Here.
Trustee Atkinson,
Here.
Trustee Krieger,
Here.
Member Skivington is excused, Member Campbell,
Here.
Member Allen is excused.
Okay, I'd like to stand for the pledge. And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. I have one change to the agenda. I would like to take number 7C, and I would like to move that to the A position, and then A, of course, would be B, and B would be C.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda with that change. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Number 5, action on the minutes from the November 6, 2024 Plan Commission meeting.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda. You must state your name and address. You're limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel issues cannot be discussed nor individuals named, and the board is not able to take action at this meeting. Is there anybody who would like to say anything on items not on tonight's agenda? Any comments not on tonight's agenda? Moving on. Number 7, 7C, but is actually A. Consider, discuss, act on a site plan review request for a third wall sign at 789 Armed Forces Drive, parcel VA-41-4-E. Aaron.
All right, thank you. I will share my screen to bring up a elevation of the proposed wall sign. There you see it. As identified in the staff report, the request is for a third wall sign at the Great North Commons, which is currently under construction at 789 Armed Forces Drive. The requested third wall sign is allowable with Site Plan Review Committee recommendation, Plan Commission, and Village Board approval under our code. Under the code, we do allow 2 wall signs by right. Again, this third wall sign by special approval. The requested area is within the Stadium Expo Business District, which does allow for the third wall sign. And it is within the Sports Entertainment Zoning District, which is why it does need to go to Plan Commission and Village Board. Surrounding land uses include the Resch Center Blue Parking Lot, Lambeau Field Support Buildings, and the Quality Inn Hotel to the east. Based on the surrounding land uses, the building being located within the Stadium Expo Business Sign District and Sports Entertainment District, and sufficient distance to any residential uses, village staff does recommend approval of the third wall sign with the following condition: that the east elevation signage be adequately shielded to prevent any glare into the guest windows of the Quality Inn Hotel. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, the representative of the applicant is also in the audience if you have questions for him.
One question I have, Aaron, if there are complaints, let's just say there are complaints from people in the hotel, what would be the procedure for them to come to the board? What would they do?
Right, what we do is we'd handle it internally first of all. If there's a complaint, I deal with it internally. I'd work with the wall sign applicant, so 79 Armed Forces Drive, kind of internally first of all, to say, look, we received a complaint. How can we address this in a way that's mutually beneficial?
And that would be any complaint, not just strictly the hotel, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's for anything, really.
Okay.
So is this sign lit up, or is there lights going to be shining on the sign?
It'll be internally lit. The signage actually will be above,
Yeah.
so it's not a major issue anticipated, but we want to make sure that it is shielded and there aren't any, if there are issues, that make sure we deal with them.
Okay. Hey, when you said shielded, that's what I thought. I was imagining it being illuminated, so, okay. All right.
All right, this was approved at the site plan meeting, as Aaron said, so no other questions. I'll move to what do I want to say? Discuss, approve the third wall sign. That's what- I'll get it out yet.
I'll second whatever Gary said.
All right,
so.
do you want to stutter like I did too?
Okay, well, here we go. Motion and a second to approve the third wall sign at 789 Armed Forces Drive, parcel VA-41-4-E. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, the next one, consider, discuss, act on a rezoning request for parcel VA-838, 1375 West Main Avenue from BP Business Park to P Public Use. Aaron?
All right, thank you. Once again, I'll share my screen to bring up the zoning of the area, help facilitate discussion. All right, so as depicted on the map there, the request from Mock Village Programs Incorporated as applicant for the property owner is to request rezoning of the subject property from BP Business Park to P Public Use. The request is to allow for the use of the property for school purposes, supportive school purposes, as indicated in the staff report. Surrounding land uses do include public use to the north, to the east, and to the south, with Business Park to the west and to the northwest. As discussed previously for different rezonings, when looking at rezonings, we need to reference our comprehensive plan for the village of Ashwaubenon. And that consistency, and a rezoning action has to be consistent with the comprehensive plan. Consistency being defined as not inconsistent with the plan. Again, a classic double negative there. In referencing the comprehensive plan, the site of the requested rezoning is within the Southwest Business District area. This area lends itself to industrial and large lot uses. However, the size of the area and proximity to the Sandy Acres neighborhood suggests that both types of uses be combined in a compatible manner. The comprehensive plan further identifies tables that identify various land uses as either desirable, allowable, or undesirable. As desirable, those uses should be encouraged and support the desired character of the area. Allowable, these uses are appropriate for the area but may require additional consideration to fit the vision. And undesirable, and generally these uses should not be encouraged but may be acceptable under special circumstances. As depicted on the table from the comprehensive plan, institutional, governmental, educational, other is considered an allowable use within the Southwest Business District. Furthermore, the proposed rezoning is located on the border of the Sand Acres neighborhood, which also identifies institutional, governmental, educational, other as an allowable use. As noted, as this is a rezoning request, it does require a recommendation from Planning Commission and then a public hearing and action by the village board at a subsequent meeting. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we do have the applicant in the audience as well, if you have any questions for them.
I don't know, Aaron, if my question would be for you or for Joel. If this gets rezoned to public use, does it change the tax assessment?
No, this is strictly just the zoning classification. It does not change the assessment.
Okay.
And if we change it to public use, there's nothing to restrict it to go back to BP later, right?
It would take a formal rezoning,
Just like we're doing right now.
absolutely.
Is this business in operation right now, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
I don't see that there's any reason not to do it in that particular area, especially since if it would all of a sudden become a business again, we could always rezone it back. So I will recommend that we approve I would make the motion to approve the request to change this parcel to public use.
I'll second.
Okay, excuse me. We have a motion and a second to approve the rezoning request for parcel VA-838, 1375 West Main Avenue from BP to P Public Use. Before we vote, I just want to say that You just took down the map, Aaron, which is fine,
Okay, I'm sorry.
but no, that's fine. The land directly to the east is
Yep.
also public use.
Correct.
Because of that, I will vote for it. If it was not public use on that land, I have to say that I would vote no. But because it is adjacent to land that is public use, I will be voting in favor of it. So, anyway, any other comments?
No, I feel the same way. I'm not for spot zoning, but seeing that land on the east is public, I don't have a problem with it neither.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, 7C, consider discussion on the draft Village of Ashwaubenon Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 6, Utilities and Community Facilities. I have to say, before we start this, I went up to Aaron tonight and I said, Aaron, you did a great job on Chapter 6. And he said that actually Will did it. So, you did an awesome job, Will.
Yeah, great job.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hand it off to Will to run through the Chapter 6 presentation.
Perfect. So Chapter 6 looks at utilities and community facilities. So the first thing we'll go over is just a little bit of background on the chapter itself. This is the 5th chapter to be presented to the Plan Commission, and once each chapter passes through the Plan Commission, it'll be brought forward to the Village Board as the entire plan. But that being said, I'm pretty sure that has been explained to you 4 previous times as well. So specifically looking at Chapter 6, it's a very unique chapter because it actually looks at the facilities and utilities that the village has. And so what it does is it goes over and analyzes the current utilities, services, and facilities offered to the community, both including residents, businesses, and visitors alike, as well as highlighting the future the future plans for development, that kind of thing, that will be needed to ensure that the services are provided in an efficient manner. One thing important to note is actually going to be the challenges and opportunities that is noted in the chapter. So I do want to go over some of those challenges and opportunities. So Ashwaubenon is a very unique community in the aspect where our population is roughly about 17,000 people, 18,000 people, around there, with a normal daytime population of 36,000. Now that population can swell to upwards of 150,000, depending on the events being hosted in, especially the sports and entertainment district of Ashwaubenon. So to have proper facilities that can support 17,000 and 150,000 is quite the unique challenge for a municipality to have. So that's one thing that is a very important focus going through this entire chapter, as all the facilities need to be available for all 17,000 people as well as all 150,000 people. So the first one we're going to go over is going to be water and sewer. The Ashwaubenon Water and Sewer Utility maintains this section, and that includes purchasing potable water from the Green Bay Water Utility, and then working with the New Water for the sanitary sewer service. New Water is formerly the Green Bay Metropolitan Sewage District. They rebranded and have a new name, but together this provides the water and sewer for the community. The Ashwaubenon Water and Sewer Utility maintains all of the miles of transmissions and mains throughout the village, as well as any lift stations that are needed. Looking at this, and a lot of municipalities are facing this, is that a lot of this equipment being installed 40, 50 years ago is now beginning to show its age and needs replacement. Now, a lot of this equipment is buried underground underneath roadways. That being said, if we would dig up a road every time that we needed to replace something, that can get very costly and become really more of an annoyance for the community and very costly for the village. So what Public Works has done is that they've incorporated it in capital improvement plans, meaning that if we're redoing the street, we're going to take that next step and redo the sewer and main as well, water main. What this does is it makes it more efficient and more cost effective, both efficiency speaking, as the road's going to be closed less, but also cost efficient because we only have to dig into the road once. So overall, that's a very good way to work through this process, Now granted, that does take time, but that being said, trying to replace everything all at once would also cause a lot of issues. Continuing on, stormwater management. This is a subject that has come up more recently in the last 50 or so years with the Clean Water Act. Basically, what it looks at is ensuring that we're not overly polluting the waterways that exist. Ashwaubenon currently exists in the lower Fox River Basin, and which is made up of 6 subwatersheds, 4 of which come through Ashwaubenon. This is a unique situation in the aspect that 2/3 of all the watersheds come through Ashwaubenon, and all of them don't begin in Ashwaubenon either, which means other communities are also feeding into these watersheds that are coming through Ashwaubenon. What this means is that it's very important that Ashwaubenon takes its steps to both prevent any further pollution in the waterways while also maintaining the waterways to the best that they can. The four subwatersheds are Ashwaubenon Creek, Duck Creek, Dutchman Creek, and the Fox River. All of these exist and come from outside communities. So that being said, continuing into the goals and opportunities section, in 2021, the village worked with McMahon to create the Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System Program Report, or MS4 program for short. What this does is it reviews the outreach system overview, public involvement, opportunities, and an implementation plan. So basically an overarching plan for the village to follow, and quite frankly, it gives a very broad overview of how to proceed. Some of the things noted in this would be working with outside communities, as well as I mentioned, the creeks in the Fox River that come through Ashwaubenon extend further beyond Ashwaubenon, so it's important to maintain the partnership with our neighboring communities as well, in ensuring those waterways can remain as clean as possible. As you can see, over time that they have become impaired, so it's important to limit that impairment from getting worse. Additionally, as technology develops, it's important to incorporate stormwater management into our building code as well. And as many of you are aware, as a lot of the new development in Ashwaubenon comes through the Plan Commission, stormwater management is a very, very key aspect to new developments. The next section looks at parks, recreation, and forestry. Ashwaubenon currently maintains 21 parks and 8 miles of recreational trails. The parks vary from just a standard swing set and playground to very complicated parks like Ashwaubenon Park, which has a large swimming area, as well as the Ashwaubenon Sports Complex, which can host a variety of sporting events, which quite frankly makes it very unique and a very, very attractive aspect of the community. So to identify goals and opportunities, the best area to look at would actually be the Comprehensive Outdoor Recreation Plan, which as of last week was actually just approved by Village Board. What that does is it goes over the goals and the plans and pretty much guides the village into the direction it wants to go in, whether that's developing more parks, updating parks, that kind of thing. Again, this is something that has to be updated every 5 years. It so happens that we were in an update year. So what that includes is getting a lot of community input, which is very important because obviously the main people using the parks are going to be the community members. Continuing on into healthcare, there are currently 4 healthcare providers that serve the village, including Amplify Health, which is formerly Bellin, after Bellin developed a partnership with Gunderson out of, I believe, La Crosse, as well as HSHS, Prevea Health, and Aurora Healthcare all serve some aspect of the population in the village. When it comes to emergency care, there's no emergency hospitals located within the village of Ashwaubenon itself, but there are 4 located in the greater Green Bay area. The majority, if not all, are actually located within the city of Green Bay. That being said, there are still plenty of healthcare facilities, clinics offered in Ashwaubenon, and one thing to highlight is actually over the past 7 years, Amplify Health, again formerly Bellin, has actually added 2 healthcare facilities and renovated another, the Adolescent Center, set to open in spring of 2025. So this shows that healthcare organizations are really looking at investing in our community, and it's important moving forward that we work with these healthcare partners to provide the best service that we can to the village. The next section will be the schools section. There are currently 2 school districts that residents in Ashwaubenon can attend, not including open enrollment kind of thing. That is the Ashwaubenon School District and the School District of West De Pere. You can see on the map, Ashwaubenon School District is highlighted in green, which covers the majority of Ashwaubenon. And then the School District of West De Pere is highlighted in the orange, which is the far southwest version, such as the Highland Ridge area. These are the two main school districts that serve Ashwaubenon, or that residents can send their kids to, again, outside of any open enrollment opportunities, that kind of thing. So identifying goals and opportunities here. Ashwaubenon has a very, very unique and special relationship with the Ashwaubenon School District, developing community centers such as the PAC and community pool. So it'll be important to continue that partnership in the future, whether that's further development or just maintaining that, all while balancing the needs of the village. Those partnerships provide a service to the village, so it's important to maintain that partnership. Continuing to the West De Pere School District, that's a relatively new school district for Ashwaubenon, especially as the Highland Ridge subdivision develops. So it'll be important moving forward that the village works to develop a strong partnership with that school district, as that is one of the most rapidly developing areas of Ashwaubenon. So it's important to have that relationship built. Moving on to public safety, Ashwaubenon Public Safety serves the vast majority of the village, all police services and all fire services. EMS, there's a small portion that De Pere Fire Department handles, but for simplicity's sake, we'll just look at Ashwaubenon Public Safety. These are some of the 2023 numbers. They handled over 20,000 total calls for service, including 18,000 police calls. This is responded to by a total of 56 sworn staff members, who are supported by 18 paid-on-call firefighters, as well as 12 non-sworn staff members. Full-time staff operate out of Station 1, which is right here at Village Hall. And then when the call comes in, paid-on-call members can respond to Station 2 or Station 1, obviously, but they primarily operate out of Station 2, which is located near Pioneer Elementary on the more west and more north side of the village for responding to calls. Public safety is obviously one of a very important aspect that the government can provide. So it'll be important for the village to maintain effective and efficient staffing in both personnel and equipment, ensuring that not only do we have the proper staff who trained to respond to those situations, as well as the proper equipment. Now, it is worth noting here, Ashwaubenon Public Safety is very unique in the aspect they are one of two public safety departments that work all police, fire, and EMS in the state of Wisconsin, so that does make it unique. And certainly the village of Ashwaubenon is by far the biggest community compared to the other one. But that being said, it creates a very unique opportunity and a challenge for the department to train their employees in all three of the emergency disciplines. So as Ashwaubenon continues to develop, it'll be important for the village to consistently review the current abilities and efficiencies of public safety, ensuring that our public safety department is properly meeting the needs of the community. The last subject I'm going to go over today would be the general village government. The village hall, which currently sits at 2155 Holmgren Way, right where we're sitting, serves as the primary spot for government services. The only exception to that would be Parks and Rec, which is located at 900 Anderson Drive, which is the community center. Otherwise, the vast majority of services are conducted at Village Hall here. With that being said, I do have 2161 Collier Court listed. That is where Public Works operates out of, which is essentially the back of this property. So I wanted to note that as well, as that's another location for the service, and that's where like the Yardway site would be. A couple things to note in maintaining an effective village government. There's two aspects to look at. You want to make sure that you're maintaining your facilities, maintaining your equipment, but one thing that's very important, and that's very heavily noted by like the village manager and village board during the budget approval process, is we want to ensure that we are maintaining a strong workforce. You can have the best equipment in the world, but if you don't have a strong workforce to use it, it doesn't make it the best equipment in the world. So one way to do that is Ashwaubenon really focuses on having very quality employees, and that can include, and they can be attracted here through competitive pay and benefits, training incentives, education incentives, and effective equipment. All of those incorporate, and all of those are important in attracting and maintaining employees in the village government. That being said, one of the aspects, Village Hall here, it was built, I believe, in the 90s. I might be wrong on that, but I believe it's been around for, I believe, 30 years or so. That being said, it's important to review how effective Village Hall is operating. That is why this year, the Village Board wanted to move forward with a full-scale spatial study of Village Hall to see how the building is serving the employees and serving the community, and ensuring that if there are holes and ways to be more efficient, that we can meet those aspects, or if there's ways that we can either downsize, we can do that as well. Basically, the entire goal of it is to ensure that we're operating in an efficient manner to provide a high-quality service while at a cost-effective rate. Once that study is complete, it'll be important to implement those cost-effective recommendations that can help make the village government operate in a more efficient and effective manner. That being said, there's a number of other topics that are covered, but these are kind of the main ones that go very deeply into detail in Chapter 6, and so, which is why I wanted to highlight them. That being said, does anyone have any questions?
How many chapters are in this comprehensive plan?
9.
9, so we're well through it. It's kind of unique. I see we each have a police call per capita. How the numbers are pretty close to one call to each house.
It is actually pretty close.
You did a great job, Will, with your staff that you have very well presented. I really don't have any questions other than what I've said.
Yeah, no, great job. It's probably not the appropriate question to be asking you, but do we have any idea of how many students are going to the West Ypres School District? Maybe that's more appropriate to ask of the West Ypres School District, but it just would be an interesting number to know going forward as to how many of them are, I know there's a number of them that are school choicing over at Ashwaubenon, but I'd be very curious to know how many are going to the West Ypres School District coming out of that area.
Yeah, I can certainly reach out and ask that.
It just a nice number, I think, for us at the village board level to have as things come up, just to kind of know that.
Jay, bringing that question up, it'd be interesting to see how many Ashwaubenon school, how many Ashwaubenon students are in the Ashwaubenon district versus open enrollment.
It's basically 2/3. Yeah,
It
so
is
it's like
that-
there's 32,000 students, and like 2/3 of them are from Ashwaubenon.
Can I say that is growing? I thought it was about a 50-50 ratio.
No, it's about a third of the students are
About a third, all right,
currently, yeah.
all right.
I actually looked at the pattern for it too, and that might have been included in the chapter, but basically what I found was that overall open enrollment is going up in the Ashwaubenon School District, while the in-district population is actually decreasing.
We've had those discussions before, and that situation presents its own problems with funding, so.
Yep.
Anyway, well, you did a great job, Will. Thank you very much. Thank you, Aaron. Any other questions for them?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we don't need a motion on this, right? No.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, number 8, items for next agenda.
I'm anticipating there will be items for our January meeting.
Okay. With that, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. We are done.